feel like when I'm doing this kind of thing that I'm just like, yeah, under the microscope. So it's hard for me to like force smiles and stuff without looking super awkward. So right now, for most intro tracks, I usually leave it for a bit longer before I get into the mix, just because I want the sound guy to be able to, make sure the levels are all right before I start transitioning into more tracks. So I usually give him a longer one that's got more of a full frequency range so we can get all that set. So right now we're just still in this track right here. Right now I'm gonna switch this from just regular Q mode, like I have Q point set so I can jump to different parts of the song depending on like which Q point I set. So I'm at the beginning of this song that I'm gonna go into, switch it to auto loop mode, and then I'm gonna set a 2-bar loop, then EQ the song that I'm going into down a bit so that when I bring it in it doesn't hit super hard. And then when I get to the right section, I'm gonna hit play and bring it in like kind of in a softer way, so that you're starting to hear the new song coming in while this first song is still going on. So, and part of the reason I set cue points is also to help me see the structure of the songs that you can see right here. So like right when it gets to this red point, that's when I'll know that like that's a point that I want to start to bring in another song. So now I'm going to switch the other one to auto loop mode. I'm going to start EQing this one in. Bring it in slowly, bring up the pitch a little bit so that they're matched. I stopped the loop on the second one. So now we're filtering into the second one. I'm gonna low pass the first song out so the vocals start to fade a bit. Bring the bass out a bit because I don't want the bass to be hitting when the other one fully drops in. So now I still have the vocals from the first track overlap this first drop here. So it's kind of like meshing the songs together a little bit more. And here in just a second, I'm about to cut that first song out. Yeah, that was pretty much one example of how I do a transition. Yeah, pretty much I just have this little table here because I used to be able to like put my mixer, like I used to have a small mixer, but I used to be able to put it in my lap. Like this table's here just because this thing is 60 pounds because of the motors in it. The rest of it, I've just got, I don't know, I kind of go for obviously a more nature feel, like if I'm going to be spending a lot of time inside, I mean, I like my space, but I also like to be outside a lot, so if I'm going to be inside for extended hours at a time, like focused on a screen, I want to be able to look around and kind of feel I'm not confined by an indoor space. So, the wood paneling in here really helps already, added to these little wood carved mushrooms and pine cones that I got up here, and all these little geodes that are unbroken that I found in like local creeks, along with my my Skyrim map, which fits I think the aesthetic here. Then this deer skull was left in the house when I moved in, but I felt like it also just kind of fit the vibe, and then I added this little candle holder here to give some ambiance during the nighttime. And then yeah, so this is and then that's like a staff that I made for a festival that I never really got to use because I never had room to bring it. And then this right here is a gift from my roommate Luli, this little seashell thing. So really the theme in general, obviously, like with the tapestries and such, is more woodsy, outdoorsy, to give it kind of like an open, earthy feel, and less of like I'm sitting in an indoor space and I'm aware of that for hours on end. So yeah. And obviously the table, so I can eat down here, I can host people down here. If they want to eat, we can play like board games and stuff too, as I like to do. Those are also gifts. I propagated them from my roommate Luli, who's like much more of a plant fiend than I am, but I wanted to have a little bit of greenery in my room. So she gave me some cuttings from her plants, and I've just been growing them since, and now they're full-fledged plants on their own.